In the deep dive tonight, breaking news involving those extended juvenile curfew zones in the district.
Yeah, the D.C. Council just agreed to postpone its vote on a bill that, if approved, would have extended the youth curfew zone legislation through September. Now, that allows the police chief to set curfews as needed.
Now the council plans to vote on the curfew bill on April 21st. And 7 News has teen coverage of the issues involving teens in the city, including the ongoing problems at the youth detention centers. We begin with 7 News' Josh Chapin. And Josh, your focus on accountability.
Michelle, I think that my parents would have been outraged if they had found me at one of these teen takeovers, a number of them happening just a few blocks from where we're standing here in Navy Yard. But one advocate who runs a lot of his programs out of this community center, out of this rec center here, believes it can't all fall on the parents.
There's never been a shortage of solutions for young people, but there's always been a shortage of actual things.
Darius Baxter is trying to be part of the solution. He founded Good Projects nearly 10 years ago. They now work with the city on a variety of initiatives for young people. They also partner with the Office of Neighborhood Safety and Engagement, or ONE, to supply violent interrupters in Ward 6.
I do not put the pressure on the parents. There does need to be a level of accountability to know where your child is.
Yes.
But there's the same level of pressure for Metro to understand when several hundred people in black ski masks are moving in one direction towards one area of the city, maybe you should communicate that to MPD.
Baxter runs many of his programs out of the King Greenleaf Recreation Center in Navy Yard. The city is planning to host one of its events this coming weekend right here. The Deputy Mayor for Education, Paul Kine, tells 7 News he believes it's a myth that there aren't enough programs for young people.
We really do think it's important to engage young people during the school year and after school hours on school days, as well as weekends during the school year, and then, of course, to identify programs during the breaks.
This rec center is around the corner from where we've seen many of these teen takeovers. The takeover spurring the conversation about a continued youth curfew.
Our curfew works no more than putting calamine lotion on a rash. At the end of the day, it's a short-term solution to a long-term problem. We have to take some level of responsibility as a city government. We have to take some responsibility as partners to the city government to say, what more can we be doing for young people? What more can we be investing in young people?
And Scott and Michelle, we also reached out to Metro for comment. When we do hear from them, we'll post that comment to WJLA.com. Back to you.
So, Josh, if the city says it's a myth, what programs are out there?
Well, Michelle, the first place to look for parents is the Parks and Rec Department. They do summer jobs there. There are also 1,700 different programs citywide. The city also said that parents should go to the most.gov portal. There are after-school programs available in all 8 wards. We'll also post a link to that over on our website, WJLA.com. Michelle and Scott, back to you.
All right, Josh. Well, 7 News has been reporting for years about issues inside of D.C.'s youth detention centers, from fighting to drug use. And our Washington, D.C. reporter Felicia Ashley picks up our team coverage now. Felicia, one of the safety concerns was also overcrowding, and you were there today as the council voted on a law that aims to bring some much-needed change.
That's right, and under this law, it puts a heavy amount of responsibility on the mayor. What it does, it would require Mayor Muriel Bowser to actually come up with a plan to directly address the overcrowding that we have seen and reported on inside of the youth detention centers. It also requires the Department of Youth and Rehabilitation Services to provide more information to the community about the juveniles inside. That includes reporting how many juveniles commit another crime after leaving the rehabilitation center and how many are arrested again within a year. Facilities would also have to give parents and the council more information. They would be required to notify parents when their kids are moved or when there's a medical emergency. Councilman Zachary Parker has oversight over youth affairs in D.C. and says this is urgent.
Making more transparent the outreach efforts the agency is having with families and parents. One of the things we hear routinely from parents is that I don't ever hear from DRS while my young person is in detention, and now we're requiring them to not only keep a log of that, but to make that available to the council as well as parents when the young person is transferred in terms of their placement or they have a medical emergency. This is a part of our ongoing oversight of the agency to improve functions, and it's working.
Under the law, the mayor would have to specify in her plan how the department will plan to permanently reduce the amount of juveniles in the detention center. So what does that mean? It's not about just adding more beds or more space. It's about prevention. That means what she will do or what her plan will include to reduce the amount of juveniles committing crimes so that they don't end up locked up. For now, reporting live from the Wilson building, Felicia Ashley, 7 News.
And that brings us to our question of the day. Just scan the QR code that's on your screen to answer. Who should be responsible for keeping kids out of trouble at night? Parents, local government, law enforcement, or all of the above? So far, 80% of you saying parents, almost 20% saying all of the above. We're going to update the results throughout the evening, and you can also vote by going to WJLA.com.